Okay, apparently Joakim's like, you know what'd be really funny?
What the hell?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Medz. You know what? Don't even leave the call. I want to hear your reaction to this.
3, 2,
all right, so we're pulling out Roy. So this is a real Medz fight if I ever seen one. Oh man, Medz falling with his one weakness, counters. Honestly, Medz has, like, played Roy so often. I imagine he has to know the weaknesses of how to fight Roy. Like, he should know how often they're going to be aggressive. They should know how they're going to fight. They should know when they're able to jump in on them. Yeah, like that, jumping right into an up smash, like a raw up smash at that. But then again, Joakim is just, like, moving. They're not even doing, yeah. Trying to go for a down air, yeah, that's what I generally try to do too, but it's kind of hard. Like, Roy's recovery is easily exploitable, but it can be a little hard to actually get through sometimes. All right. With the back air, but it's fine. I think Medz got this. Guys, have you ever noticed that whenever someone tries to do a move, they try to input it again if they ever get interrupted during it? I try not to do it, but I am guilty of that happening to me a lot, so I'll freely admit I am trash at this game. Alright, oh, thank God he didn't roll into that. You know, I don't understand why Joakim is going for, like, Roy's nice Gim. I can't believe that worked. Your match was 4 matches? Yeah, your Fly, your matches was 4 matches. You are correct. Smash 4 Villy was like B to C tier, and then he drops to being considered bottom 4. It's crazy how Villager just like lost all momentum in this game, which is sad because I think Villager is still a lot of fun. I still like watching Villager go, but yeah, everyone's just way too fast for them nowadays. Cloud spawned in. Yeah. And Corrin. Yeah. And Bayonetta. Isn't it crazy that Bayonetta wasn't considered a high tier in this game, but now she's high tier again? And they didn't even do anything to her. She just became high tier eventually. If Medz loses a stock here, we call him a nerd. Okay, he's not a nerd.
Falco wins.
Had enough already?
All right, game 2. Oh, by the way, whoever's in winners finals, please select your stage right now while you're waiting, please. Thank you. I really love this song. Like, this is probably one of my favorite Splatoon 1 songs I just like jamming out to. Ba, ba, ba. Da, 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 da. And pulling out the Ridley. You know, that's not gonna help you, Joakim, but fair enough. Gourmet race. This is the Fountain of Dreams song. Oh, hey, look at that. We are going to Fountain of Dreams. Oh, wow. We're going to fight on this dreamy place. I can keep that up. Anyway, yeah, honestly, like, I think Ridley is good. Like, he's definitely a very good character. The problem is, like, when you're fighting a combo character like Falco, they're just like, oh boy, big body for me to lift into the air, and they can't do anything about it. Yeah, so, Medz is going to have a fun time with this. Don't jump into that, thank you. Good forward smash. I don't know why they let go of shield, but, you know, you do you, buddy. Man, Fountain Dreams is so freaking cool. I love this stage so much. I don't don't know why, but like is it weird to say the atmosphere of Smash Melee is very different compared to later Smash games? I don't know, it feels like Smash Melee had this weird feeling of like, I wouldn't say ominousness, but like space seriousness, like a lot of sci-fi, like anime kind of feeling to it. I don't know. I think it's mostly because like a lot of like the menu design for Melee is very like cyber oriented, so it gives you this sci-fi feel, and I feel like a lot of the stages in Melee was a lot like that too, because of like the duller, I wouldn't say duller, but the more saturated color scheme that makes everything looks a lot more grayscale, as it were. Yeah, because they kind of went like, I know they went for more photo, like not photorealistic, but went for a lot of realistic, like what's it called, textures for Brawl, but for Melee, a lot of it was like the character model design, where everything was a lot more realistically rendered. Like, it still makes me laugh a lot whenever I see the photorealism of Fox and Falco in that game, for example. Like, Fox and Falco in Melee feel like they're completely different characters. They don't feel like Star Fox characters the way that we know them they are today. Then again, they kind of leaned back into that with Star Fox 2026, so what do I know? I don't know, it just feels like they kind of went more goofy from Brawl onwards in terms of depiction for Smash Brothers, and I'm okay with that. It's just like, it's weird. It feels like the GameCube era, specifically, including like PlayStation 2 and stuff like that, I feel like that was like the best generation of gaming, in my personal opinion, where games were a lot more experimental. They were they were getting their foothold into actually making really good 3D games, while also refining 2D games at that same time period, while also being much more like willing to do something different with their game series, so it's not just like the same things as we've seen before. It feels like when we got to like the next generation of like 360, PlayStation 3, and Wii, they started getting more conventional, as it were. The PS2 era is your favorite? I feel like that's probably like when gaming was honestly at its best. I feel like gaming kind of lost its luster in the online era. Once gaming went online, I feel like that's when games started really going downhill. Like, there are still really good games, obviously, of course, but like, I feel like the nature of the gaming industry changed, where like everything is all about pre-orders, everything's about collector's editions, everything's about like online battle passes or subscription services, or like constantly trying to force everyone to be constantly playing as they micro sell you a bunch of different cosmetics you don't actually need. And it's just like, man, I miss the era where there was just like, let's just make fun multiplayer games that you can play with other people, and if people like it, cool, we don't need to update it again. And or like single player games where it's like, oh man, here's a really fun single player game that's not terribly long, but nowadays like all single player games are like 100-hour experiences. I don't know. I'm just not too crazy about what they ended up doing for later game industry, and I feel like a lot of people feel that. Games that actually have level design and friction, you can actually engage with them. Yeah, like nowadays a lot of games are just mostly designed around how do we get people to feel engaged with playing with each other for hours on end and never stop playing. And I can't even say Nintendo is not guilty of that, because they kind of been doing that as well with like a lot of their multiplayer games, and hell, their single player games too, because they started adding events into Donkey Kong Bonanza, and that really pisses me a lot. Like, don't get me wrong, I like the events for Donkey Kong Bonanza, but I don't like them in terms of like what they're used for. Or how to get people as through a game as possible. Yeah. I'm just saying I'm really sick of like modern game design. Well, not modern game design, modern game business, basically. And I feel like a lot of that also stems from a lot of people like playing into nostalgia because like a lot of people are like, oh, hey, I recognize thing. I want that thing in my game. And like everything is crossovers nowadays. And like, man, back in the day, crossovers used to be so freaking special. Anyway, Medz takes game 3.